What's up everyone, Orion here, back with another video. Now, since quite a few of you asked me, today I'm going to be showing you my Fortnite settings and sharing my warm-up routine that I do every time I get on to practice. Before we start, last video I asked you guys what your favourite series, movie or track was from the 80s, and Emma was the first to reply, so big shout out to you, and I'll play the theme in a second. If you guys want to mention at the start of my next post, then check out the description. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe with notifications turned on, and comment down below with your own settings if you like. Now let's get into the video. Alright, so this is a warm-up and settings video, but there's a lot of stuff in here that I've got from notable people in the community, mainly Destiny's Jesus, and there's quite a few things I've learned I think you might find helpful. So make sure you keep watching because you could learn something that accelerates your improvement a ton. Alright, so the first thing you should be doing, no matter what you're going to be doing later on in your warm-up, is Freebuilding. I'll always use a map with a bit of input delay, bit of lag like BHE, because you don't want to be practicing with no lag and then you get in game and you can't do anything you could have done in creative before. You might see that I have grabbed a shotgun as well. That warms up. Switching in and out of builds gets you familiarised with what you're going to be doing later in game. You know, you just control someone and then go for the shot like that. Practice resetting edits after you've taken the shot as well. And that translates really well into game with whatever you're doing. Also, another thing that I think is a bit controversial for when you're freebuilding is retakes. Do I practice them? Yes, I do. I'm actually going to try and learn one retake at least a week, like something like side jumps, because as you can see I messed up the placement of the walls there. I'm quite bad at them. Not a lot of them are actually useful in game, but they are useful for improving for too long, but that's because, probably like many of you guys out there, I don't have 8 hours a day to practice. Often I have less than 4 hours, and sometimes I'll come on, you know, less than half an hour before a catch up starts, so I really need a quick and effective warm-up. Okay, so the second part of the warm-up is 1v1s. I do it on the same map in BHE again, just because of the input delay. You know, you want to make it feel as close to as fighting in a normal game as possible. You know, I know it's build fight, so it's not exactly the most realistic thing, but it's just like free building, trying to get your mechanics warmed up. I do have the chapter 3 guns though. I don't really believe it's sufficient practice if you're not practicing with the guns that aren't in the game. And also I've grabbed minis. You want to practice playing defensively so that, you know, when someone sprays you or just starts the fight with a health advantage. I didn't even know he was there. Okay, like this. So when you're on the back foot in a fight, so, you know, you get to 1 HP and you have to try and get away and heal up while going for shots safely. Okay, he's breaking me. Oh, I need to get better at that peek. Right, okay. Yeah, so grab minis to practice playing defensively like now. You know, just go for smart angles like I was talking about. Smart fighting behind peaks all the time. And this will really help you with fighting because you'll be doing this in game, won't you? You'll be trying to fight as smart as possible and not take any damage if possible, especially when you're weak. Yeah, he's trying to make me come up to him now. That's smart. Nah.
Behind peaks all the time.
I mean, fair enough to Taylor. He tagged me, you know, 190, caught me off guard. I didn't know he was below that floor. You know, this is where the practice comes in for fighting on the back foot, because you're going to be doing that a lot this season. You're going to be keyed by the best player in the lobby, and you want to try and hold off for as long as possible so that either you can launch pad away or someone else comes in and you can just run away while they fight. Ooh! Yeah, I do need to do more of that. I need to do more of predicting where they're going to be and aim at them. I need to make sure my mechanics are fast and my aim is slowed down. It's sort of a fast but smooth mindset. That's another thing that I'm just thinking of right now. If you can apply that to your fights, I still struggle with this a whole lot, but if you can apply that to your fights, that really helps too. If you want to improve, you definitely should be 1v1ing someone who's at your skill level or slightly above. It does help if they're really far above, because even though you probably will get destroyed, you know, you got 10-0'd at the start, if you have a load of time and they're willing to help you get better, after a couple of hours or even just half an hour, you'll have learned some things that they do and how to counter it. That's why 1v1s are really good for part of a warm-up, or if you want to, you can just go into a scrim Discord, find someone really good, or maybe you just have a friend that's really good, and you can 1v1 them. Alright, let's finish this off then. Built so I've actually had to restart. Right, come on, go. go.
Like
Alright,
80.
1v1s is done. On to the next part of the warm-up. Okay, so for the third thing on the warm-up, after you've done your 1v1s, you should go into whatever mechanic you feel like is lacking most. Ironically, for me at the moment, that's close range aim. So I do aim duels with my duo, Taylor. Some people would argue that Scavox still works for inbox aim, and that's true. It does have the drill where the bots get thrown in from different angles. But personally, I prefer this map because you're against a real person, so it's constantly unpredictable. And there's a lot more scenarios, as you can see on the walls here, that you can do. As for who you do this with, it really doesn't matter. You could literally just do matchmaking, and as long as the person moves, you'll be getting the same amount of practice. But if you want to be like super efficient and it's right before a cash cup, definitely make sure that you and your duo are getting on at the same time so that you can practice this together and against each other. So the first drill I do is the 1x1 cone react because it practices your flick aim, which is something I need to work on because I can't do 180 flicks or anything crazy like that on controller. For me, it's more about tracking the opponent and then flicking as a final adjustment. So as you can see, Taylor and me get thrown into the box like this from different angles, and you have to try and react to it and do as much damage as you can.
How much
That was actually really close. You got me down to 600.
Not bad.
Yeah, it was pretty
It's
good.
the best one I've ever done yet.
Yep. Alright, so the next drill I'll do is the 1x1 cone. This is the most common scenario you'll find yourself in no matter the season, because everyone's so good at piece control now. It's just standard inbox tracking practice, but definitely the most important drill in this season because of SMGs. So while you're in here, you can either practice with the striker pump. They've enabled this striker double pump swap, which is actually quite cool, and you can also practice with SMGs, but I won't show that one. This is probably more like the aim duels you're used to, just very standard, nothing crazy going on. You're not getting thrown in or anything like that. It's just whoever's aim and movement is better will win. Alright, 600 again. So the last drill is one I've recently added to the warm-up. It's similar to the 1x1 cone in that quite often you'll find yourself in a spray battle from more than one tile away. So I will do this with an SMG, but you can do a shotgun as well if you want to, but SMGs is definitely what should be prioritised with this, because you're going to find yourself in this situation a lot. So for the first drill, you should definitely do that with a shotgun. The 1x1 and 1x2 cones, you should prioritize SMGs, but you can add shotguns if you feel like you need to. And then for the time, I do this for at least 10 minutes every day that I'm on, which equates to about 1 round each on 10k HP. But because aim is the most important mechanic, if you want to do more and have the time, definitely put it into this rather than anything else, because at the end of the day, this is the difference maker that wins or loses games. However, if you reckon your aim is a lot better than everything else, first of all, great job for prioritizing that. And second, I'll link in the description some mechanics maps you can use as well as what I think are the best drills. Now, on to the last part of the warm-up. Okay, so the fourth and final part of the warm-up is 2v2s. This is important for improving how you are fighting as a duo, which we all know is super important because that's what the major tournaments are for 2022. So while you might be able to do the other steps in this warm-up alone or with another friend, it's absolutely crucial that you do this with a duo, because this is what you practice all the other stuff for. All the main tournaments this year are duos, so you need to get your fighting down for that, and that's what me and Taylor are trying to do by playing this before we get into arena or a cash cup or something. Okay, so my first tip for this is play apart but together. Let me explain this. So, because of the spray meta, you want to make sure that the opposing duo can't pin you down. So what you do is you'll each pick one person to fight, and then if the other person gets weak, say, or they've got a person they're fighting weak, you can do something called a cross spray, where basically you just look at the person they're fighting and try and help them by spraying them like this. Taylor's going to shoot from the back. Yeah, exactly like that. Now he's knocked, and we've got the kill. Really just simple stuff, but if you can pull it off, it works really well. On the flip side, if you need to heal or something, you need to get together, and that's the part of that's the together part of this point. You need to make sure that you're close enough to each other. See, Taylor didn't need me then. You want to make sure that you're close enough so that, say he gets knocked, you can always just jump in, throw him out the box, and finish up the kill. So to summarize, fight apart, and then if one of you gets weak, or if you get one of them weak, play together. Yeah, I'm spraying him. Cracked. 40 white. Nice, nice, nice. Good job. All right, the other guy's healing. I'm going to drop down. You get the kill. Full boxed. Peeks.
Cracked. Really?
Cracked. Yeah. Nice. Good job.
You were just focusing in from one angle, and I was just on the stair point like this.
Yeah. Two angles. We always lose to 2 angles, so we learn from that. And then now, whenever we play 2 angles, it works. Especially if they're weak. You know, if you can start the match off with start the fight off, with a beam, it always helps as well. So we usually do this for about 10 minutes for a warm up. But you know, if you want to dedicate a whole day to this, you definitely can. Like I said, with 1v1s, you can 2v2 some friends you know that are a duo that might be quite a challenge, or you can just find people in scrim discords again. You good?
I've been absolutely. I've destroyed him. He's weak, but
right, he's 30 white.
Obliterated.
The other kid's trying to kill me. I
Saving
think
him.
he's trying to chop it.
No, I'm literally 1 health. Like.
Oh shoot! No, I tried to slide in. I tried to be clever. Right, I've been cracked.
One died, fault.
One died.
Yeah, he's in that box there.
Yeah, I'm trying to be careful.
I'm just gonna spray from the bottom.
Hold on, let me
Yeah,
get the edit.
He's knocked teammate. He's boxed up on his knocked teammate.
Cracked, dead.
Nice.
Nice, there we go. Good job. Alright, so that's my entire warm-up routine, guys. I will run my settings through now, my controller settings and, you know, my binds and all that stuff if you're interested. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Oh, Taylor just got beamed. And I'll see you guys in the next video next week. Peace.